Weiß Bescheid. Intendo.
Welcome to all Caribbean entrepreneurs. If you've been ready and waiting to take your business digital and get paid online while you sip something strong on the beach, this podcast is for you. We'll hear from the Caribbean's finest entrepreneurs on topics like e-commerce, business development, brand building, social media, their wins and failures. This is the only place in the region helping you navigate the digital age from the Caribbean's perspective. This is Digipreneur FM. And now, let's give it up for the Digiboss himself, Mr. Karan Rose.
Yes. We are back with another episode of the Digipreneur FM podcast. It's your boy, Mr. Karan Rose, and I'm, again, just so excited to be here speaking to you guys about digital entrepreneurship in the Caribbean. This is episode number 4, and listen, as a creator, as a digital content creator, you always have to keep your stuff fresh to be able to excite you so that you could deliver the best content that you possibly can. And for so many years, since 2016, I've been putting out the blogs, I've been doing videos, and I felt like I needed something else to kind of spark my creativity and spark my interest. And podcasting, this medium has definitely, given me that itch to really create consistent content again every single day. And I mean, I've been creating content every day for the past, 5 years. It might not have been on social media, but there was always something that was coming out on the email list, the blogs, then you have the social media content, and you have the stories. There's so many different ways to create content, and I definitely haven't missed a beat. But the content being created, I feel like for the last little while was, out of, I knew I had to do it. It was my responsibility, but now with the podcast, I feel like I'm having fun again. So today's episode is all about which web platforms should Caribbean businesses build on. And this is always a hot topic and a very important topic because one of the major challenges that we face in the Caribbean is the lack of information that is specific to the region. What happens is that when we jump on Google and we type in queries like, the top platforms to sell products, you're going to see things like Shopify. You're going to see things like Etsy. If you type in things like, the easiest web platform to build a website on, you'll get things like Wix. When you type in the most popular platform, you'll get things like WordPress. But everything comes from another market. And there's a major danger when we are consistently getting our information from people who are outside of the region, or even from people who are in the region but are focused on tapping into the US market, the UK market, and they're not actually creating content for the region. They might live here, but they're not creating content for the region. There's big dangers in that, and we're going to be diving into that in this episode. So let's start right there. What is the danger that Caribbean businesses and entrepreneurs face when we are getting information that is not tailored to our region? Now, as you guys know, the Caribbean region is pretty fragmented in the sense that, every single island has a completely different culture, a completely different set of laws, their own currencies, their frameworks are all different. So what works in one Caribbean country, when you take, one flight over 15, 20 minutes, the frameworks that are available there and the infrastructure that's available there is completely different. And the solution that might have worked in one country doesn't always work in the next. And that's been one of the biggest challenges with the region as well. So with the problem with information, when we Google, top web platforms to build our websites on, and we're getting all this information from people on the outside markets, it's not relevant to our region. Almost none of it is relevant, to be honest. And I had to learn that the hard way, because when I came over from Canada 6 years ago, over there, when you hear about these platforms and these companies being international and they work in over 100 plus countries, we have a bit of a ignorance that we just believe that everything that works in Canada and the US must work everywhere else just the same. So when I came to Trinidad, I was of the opinion that, okay, well, PayPal is international. PayPal must work here in Trinidad. It must work in Jamaica. It must work in Barbados. And then you realize, wait a minute, no, it doesn't. And when it does work, it doesn't work as how it works back in Canada or the US. It works completely different. The rules are different. And how to even get it to work for you here is completely different. PayPal is something that it works in Trinidad only with a couple institutions, and I'll dive into that more in depth in another episode. But it only works with JMB, PSCU credit union, venture credit union, and if you have a Visa credit card, that's the only way you could receive funds in Trinidad with any of those cards. But in Jamaica, PayPal is blocked altogether from withdrawing funds. So there is nothing that Jamaicans can use to withdraw money from PayPal. And that's huge, because when we go on Google and we are looking to build our websites and you are seeing people say, hey, use Shopify. It's the best platform to sell products. But then when you sign up with Shopify, you go through the entire process of building out your website, you hire somebody, they build out this amazing website, and they deliver it to you. And then somebody tries to place an order, and then you realize, okay, well, I created this PayPal account. Most of the people throughout the Caribbean create PayPal accounts on the US PayPal platform, and they don't change the country code. So they have to put in a US address to sign up, and then they don't realize it until it's too late. They've already started accepting payments, and then they realize, oh my God, I can't connect a bank account or a credit card or a Visa debit card to my PayPal. So this money that I'm receiving payments for is just stuck in the PayPal wallet, and I can't get paid. But I'm reading the blogs, I'm watching the videos, and these guys are having no problems with getting their money. What is going on with my website? What is going on with my platform? And it's not until you realize when it's too late, after weeks, maybe months in time loss, and money is piling up in your account because people are buying your sales, but you can't get the money, that you realize that the platform that you chose is not conducive to working throughout the region. And so this is why picking a website platform that allows you to get paid is critical. So the first thing that I tell anybody, when you are looking to build a website and you are in the Caribbean, you need to know if the platform that you are using, if it is a platform that will allow you to get paid in your country. That's the first thing you need to know, because it doesn't make sense you signing up with Wix or you signing up with Squarespace and then you realize you can't get paid in your country. Then what are we doing? Now, again, this podcast is for people looking to build businesses. If you're just, if you're building a website as a hobbyist because you just want to blog and you're not interested in creating a business, then you could use any platform, right? Because you're not worried about getting paid. You're just blogging for your hobby perspective. You're just blogging as a hobby. You're not really worried about getting paid. That's okay. But again, remember, for this podcast, the people that are tuning in are typically entrepreneurs, business owners throughout the Caribbean region and diaspora. So the number one thing that you need to look for when picking a web platform, I could care less which platform it is. You need to understand, can I get paid on this platform? That is the most important question, because that's the deal breaker. If I can't get paid on this platform, don't use it. It doesn't matter how great you hear the people on YouTube speak about it. It doesn't matter how great you hear local people in the region, again, who are creating content not for Caribbean entrepreneurs, but creating content for, people outside. It doesn't matter how good they say it is. If you cannot get paid on that platform in your country, don't use that platform. So that is the number one thing that you need to look for when you guys are picking a platform. So that being said, what are some of the major platforms that you could build a website on in the Caribbean? And you will always hear about, Wix, Squarespace, Shopify, WordPress. We have Fygaro, Fygaro. And most recently, we have WiShops. Those are like the main platforms that you hear about. So let's break down each of those platforms, shall we? So again, we know that the number one question, the first question that you need to ask yourself when picking a platform is can I get paid on that platform? So let's take a look at Wix. Wix is subscription-based. They have different tiers. And when you want to do e-commerce, the e-commerce plans they make you pay more money for the e-commerce plans. But the payment gateways that they integrate with are your Shopify. Not Shopify. See, got me messed up already. The payment gateways that they integrate with are Stripe, and they integrate with PayPal. Now, can we use PayPal or Stripe in the Caribbean? Stripe, we cannot use Stripe in the Caribbean. It's not available for us in the Caribbean. And PayPal is available for selective countries in the Caribbean. And even within those countries, again, they're only available to certain institutions. So here in Trinidad, again, we could sign up with JM&B, but guess what, folks? JM&B is taking 3 to 4 months to distribute those Visa debit cards that you need to be able to withdraw those funds. So that's taking a long time. And then what happens as well, because it happened 4 times throughout 2020, is PayPal can decide to stop giving you access to withdrawing your funds. So 4 times throughout 2020, there was a wide range of people in Trinidad and Tobago that just lost access to withdrawing the funds overnight. And then weeks later, access came back. Now, I don't know what kind of business owner you might be, but if you can't get your money consistently for your products and services, that's a platform that you cannot rely on. So I don't recommend, relying on PayPal as a way to receive your money, because 4 times throughout the year for weeks on end, we could not withdraw those funds. The other thing with PayPal is that PayPal does one of 3 things. PayPal can decide to grant you full access to withdrawing the funds. PayPal can also put you on a mandatory 30-day hold of all of your funds and then do an automatic deposit to your account once a month. And then PayPal also reserves the right to just not give you access, which happens more often than not. More often than not, people just don't get access from PayPal. So the money goes into the PayPal wallet, but PayPal's not giving you access to withdraw it. So the money just sits there, just burning you in the eye. And so when you pick a platform like Wix and you understand that, okay, there is no Caribbean payment gateway that works with Wix right now. WePay was working on it. I know they announced it, but I haven't seen it. So that could come on board at some point in time. But as of right now, June 24th, it's not available. It's not We cannot use WePay to connect to Wix. So if you are left with Stripe, which you can't use in the Caribbean, and then if you are left with PayPal, and then in your Caribbean country, PayPal is not accessible, then Wix, by just sheer disqualification, is not a platform that you should even be looking at. If you can't get paid on the platform, that's going to be my theme throughout this podcast. If you cannot get paid on the platform, don't use the platform. Straight up. Next up, let's look at Squarespace. So again, Squarespace integrates with Stripe, integrates with PayPal. You need to figure out if that is an option for you in your country. And if in your country you don't have access to Stripe or PayPal, Squarespace is not an option for you. If you are here in Trinidad and Tobago, SocialPay has a bit of a workaround for Squarespace to be able to get paid on. But again, it's not a full integration. It's a workaround. And it's something that the owner of SocialPay, at some point might stop supporting altogether. So if he stops supporting the workaround and you can't get paid on Squarespace, then again, that's not an option for you. If you have to rely on Stripe or PayPal as the payment providers for that platform, if you are a Caribbean entrepreneur, that's not a platform that you should be on. Next up, Shopify. Now, Shopify is a bit different, right? Because it works with Stripe, it works with PayPal, but we also have a company called First Atlantic Commerce that integrates with Shopify. So how that works is with Shopify, you can go to your bank and you can open up what is called a merchant account. And you can do this for any country that First Atlantic Commerce is available in. They are the largest payment gateway throughout the Caribbean region. So I think almost everybody throughout the Caribbean will be able to do this option. But pay attention. So you would go to your bank that you have your business account with, and you would tell them, hey, I'm looking to open up a merchant account because I want to sign up with First Atlantic Commerce. Your bank will, process the application, takes a couple of weeks. Once they open up the merchant account for you, you would then go to First Atlantic Commerce and then open up a First Atlantic Commerce account. Once the First Atlantic Commerce account is created and it's connected to your merchant account with your bank, you would then need to go over to a company called WebGold. 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 And then you would need to purchase the bridge, the connection for First Atlantic Commerce and Shopify. So once you do all of those steps, you would be able to connect Shopify to a Caribbean payment gateway, which makes Shopify a platform that a Caribbean entrepreneur can most definitely use and definitely be on. The thing with Shopify, though, is that if you go that route, it gets expensive. So for one, you have to take out a Shopify e-commerce plan, right? And the e-commerce plans on Shopify start at, let me see, I'm just pulling it up as we kind of go. Am I going to get it? Is Shopify just going to tell me where these plans are? All right, well, moving on. Shopify, they have their own e-commerce pricing. So they charge you more for those plans, right? So, okay, cool. Shopify e-commerce starts at $30 US a month, right? So you're looking at $30 US a month to start. When you open up the merchant account with your bank, the merchant account, the banks charge you $100 US a month. $100 US per month to have a merchant account. So that's $29 to start with Shopify, and then $100 US a month from your bank for the merchant account. Then First Atlantic Commerce has transaction fees. So they charge you 3 to 5%, depending on whatever you guys have negotiated. But let's just call it 3%. So it's 3% per transaction plus 25 cents per transaction. And those fees are in US dollars. So that's the transaction fees per transaction. And then the WebGold integration to connect First Atlantic Commerce to Shopify is $200 US per year. $200 per year to connect your Shopify and your First Atlantic Commerce account. So you can already see that it adds up. So that's not going to be a solution, for just any and everybody who might be looking to get started with Shopify. And I'm going to make a correction because the Web Gold integration has gone up. It's actually $280 a year for the gateway, for that connection for Shopify and First Atlantic Commerce, $280 per year. So to recap, Shopify charges you $30 per month. Your banks for the merchant account charge you $100 per month. First Atlantic Commerce transaction fees is 3% plus 25 cents per transaction. And then the Web Gold integration for First Atlantic Commerce into Shopify is $280 per year. So you guys can kind of do the math. And if you could afford it, great, because Shopify is a really good platform. If that is not in your budget to start out, no problem. That's just not the platform for you. So keep that in mind. After Shopify, let's take a look at WordPress. So WordPress is the most popular platform globally. Over 46% of the entire internet is built off of WordPress. WordPress does have a learning curve. It's open source. So there's 1,000 ways to build on WordPress, right? So it's not going to be a platform for people to just, wake up tomorrow and say, yes, let me just build a WordPress website. Unless you have a coach to teach you how to build on WordPress, or unless you are paying somebody to build a WordPress website for you, it's just not the platform that you're going to wake up and say, yeah, let's just build that website. However, the reason why WordPress is the most important platform in the Caribbean is because it is the one platform that integrates with every single payment gateway. It integrates with Stripe, it integrates with PayPal, it integrates with WePay, it integrates with First Atlantic Commerce. If you're here in Trinidad and Tobago, it integrates with SocialPay. So WordPress integrates with every single payment platform. And remember, my theme throughout this podcast is if you cannot get paid on the platform, don't even use the platform. The reason why I always will tell people about WordPress, depending on your situation. So whenever we sit down, I would look at your business model. We'll see what the best platform is, because we do have a couple of options that I'll get into as well. But WordPress is a very popular platform because, again, there's a lot of flexibility. You can start off very small on the WordPress platform. You don't need to learn how to code when you know what you're doing. And again, that can be taught to you, and you can learn how to build on WordPress without coding. But because it allows every single payment gateway to be integrated into, it's always going to be a platform that you should be taking a look at. It allows for flexibility to start small and also scale your business and grow it. And then you have the integrations with all of with all the payment gateways in the Caribbean. Then we have Fygaro. Fygaro, Fygaro. Now, Fygaro is another relatively new platform. They came out a couple years ago. And you can do things like send digital invoices. You could create pay links. You could also build a website. And they integrate with a couple payment platforms as well. They integrate with PayPal. They integrate with Stripe. They also integrate with First Atlantic Commerce. All right. So again, you'd have to go to the bank, sign up with the bank, go to First Atlantic Commerce, create your account, and then you can connect your Fygaro account with First Atlantic Commerce. But most recently in Trinidad, some of the banks have been pushing Fygaro even more in light of the pandemic, and they have simplified the process to getting online with Fygaro. So you can go to your bank and ask them directly about their Fygaro solution. Every bank has white labeled it. Each bank calls it something differently. But each of the banks in the region are integrating with Fygaro. So they've kind of simplified that process to speed you up to getting online. And I believe the fees might be a bit different if you go directly to the bank and tell them that you want to sign up with Fygaro. So you can go to your respective bank, see what the fees are, because again, they've white labeled the solution. They've simplified the process, and the fee structure has changed a little bit. But that's also a good platform for you to be able to get started with. Okay. And now, most recently, we have WiShops. Now, WiShops is built off of the Equid platform. So pretty reputable. And what you're going to be able to do is they have hundreds of templates for you to be able to create your website pretty easily, but it's already connected with the WePay payment gateway. So they have, if you just want a free website to, advertise your business, write some blogs on, WiShops is giving you the website portion of it for free. But if you want to do e-commerce, then there's a subscription fee that you would subscribe to, and then you could integrate the WePay payment gateway into your website, and then WePay would process the payments for you. So you could definitely check out WePay Caribbean and go look at WiShops, because that can be a really good solution for a lot of people who are looking to get started almost immediately, who don't have the technical expertise, don't want to have to go through a learning curve. And then they are available in a wide range of Caribbean countries. So that WiShops is definitely a good option for you to look at. If you just want to get started with the website, just to put your business out there, create some blogs, WiShops is a good alternative. And then if you want to get started with e-commerce, you want to start to sell your products, whether it's physical or whether it's a digital product, you will be able to use WiShops as well. You take out the subscription plan and integrate it. And then what's really good too is that they have a variety of ways for you to pay for your hosting fees and your subscription fees, in case you are somebody that does not have a credit card and you cannot purchase a plan with, a Shopify or a WordPress because you don't have a credit card. So WiShops is definitely a good option for you to take a look at if you are in the Caribbean. All right. They are in a wide variety of Caribbean countries. Now, if you are somebody that's just looking to blog, but you're not necessarily looking to start up a website, take a look at platforms like Medium. Medium is a great way to get started with, creating content, getting your thoughts, building your name out there, and then you could get the links to your articles and share them across your social medias and your variety of platforms. Medium is a great way to get started if you just want to go out and blog. You could also use blogger.com. That's another platform to get started with blogging. But I would definitely check out Medium because they have a really healthy community, and they also do some work in terms of kind of pushing your content out, because they have their application, they have an email list, so they would send out, relevant content to people on their platforms, and your stuff could be included in that. So Medium is definitely a good platform if you're just looking to write and get your information out there. What I would stress to everybody though is you need to think about your business first and learn which platform will support your business goals. Because ultimately, the platforms don't matter. Like, as long as the platform that you choose is supporting what your business is all about and what you're trying to do, that's the most important thing, right? So, what if you're not doing e-commerce and you're just trying to just educate and build a community? Then you could do that on any platform. You don't necessarily need to be able to do it on something that you're going to get paid on. But if you decide that you want to scale and you want to now sell products, then you're going to need to know which platform you can get paid on. And not every single platform is created for the Caribbean. And we have to play by the rules of these companies who have built these solutions that did not have the Caribbean market in mind. And because WordPress is open source, that's the only reason why every single payment gateway connects to it, is because it's open source. So anybody can write a plugin and connect it to WordPress. To get your payment gateway into closed platforms like Shopify, Wix, Squarespace, it takes a heck of a lot more to do that, which is also why none of our Caribbean payment gateways connect to any of them outside of Shopify. And that Shopify connection happened years ago, right? But we still have nothing for Wix. We still have nothing for Squarespace. across the Caribbean. So pay attention to, what your business is about. Look at which platform is definitely going to support your business goals, but always think payments first. Even if you're not looking to sell something right now, if on your roadmap at some point you are going to want to sell a physical or digital product, you need to plan for that before you go and pick a platform. Because half the clients I get is because they built their website on Wix, they built it on Squarespace, and they come back and they're like, yo, I integrated PayPal, I can't get paid on the platform. And if you can't get paid and you can't get your money, you don't have a business. So keep in mind, learn about the different payment processors that we have across the region. So the two biggest ones across the region are your Fygaro. The two payment gateways across the region are First Atlantic Commerce and WePay. For payment gateways, you want to make sure that those two things can integrate into whatever platform you're using. I hear a lot of people, coming up and saying, yo, why don't you check out Webflow? I don't care about Webflow because I can't get paid on Webflow. And if I can't get paid on Webflow, then I'm not even going to look at it. It's not an option. I need to get paid. So keep in mind payments first. If you are looking at platforms that have an integrated approach, then you could take a look at WiShops because they have their own little ecosystem. You could take a look at Fygaro. You could take a look at Buzzshops. Buzzshops is another platform where you can build websites, you can create pay links, you could send digital invoices. They are available throughout the Caribbean and also in some Latin American countries. And they can, you could create your products on those platforms and get paid. So Buzzshops is another option if you're looking at an integrative platform. These things are separate and apart from, Wix, Squarespace, Shopify, WordPress. These are their own platforms on their own that, can process payments for you. So those could be an option as well. So take a look at the Buzzshops, WeShops, Fygaro, because they're available throughout the region and you'll be able to get paid on those platforms, and also they'll give you a website. But again, you also want to make sure that, is Shopify the best platform for you? Is WordPress the best platform for you? If those platforms fit your business needs better than Buzzshops, a WeShops, or Fygaro, if Shopify WordPress fits your needs better, then you need to know what payment gateways integrate with them, and on those payment gateways, can I get paid from them? All right. So I hope episode number 4 shed some light on which web platforms Caribbean businesses should build on. Which platforms are going to help them build their digital presence and be able to get paid on. I hope this episode shed some light. Before you guys go, don't forget to like the podcast, rate the podcast. Please drop a review, because that's the way the podcast grows. That is the way this information makes it to the ears of those who really need to hear this information. You wouldn't believe I've had people who have read some of my blogs, seen some of my talks about this exact topic, and come back and said, yo, you have saved my business. You have saved my life. You have saved my livelihood because of the information. So please, folks, if you are a loyal listener of the Digipreneur FM podcast, definitely drop a comment, a review, drop some stars on it. Share the podcast to somebody who might need this information. All right. That's it for me, folks. It's your boy, Karen Rose. And I'm out. I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.
You've been listening to the Digiboss, Karan Rose. We hope your notepad was filled after this episode. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. The learning doesn't stop, folks. And to make sure you don't miss any gems from the Digiboss, go over and follow him on all social media platforms at Karan Rose. Folks, don't just sit there with a notepad. We need you to implement at least one thing into your business before the next episode. That's the only way your business levels up. Thanks for listening to Digipreneur FM. Now go be great.